There comes a moment in your life when you look around and realize the world is trying to pull you in every direction except the one you're meant to go. Your phone is buzzing, people are talking, opportunities are flashing by, and in the middle of it all, your dream, your purpose, your vision is quietly fading into the background. You keep telling yourself you'll start tomorrow, you'll focus next week, you'll get serious when things calm down. But let me tell you something, life doesn't wait for you to get ready. Success doesn't pause for you to find the perfect moment. Every second you waste being distracted is a second stolen from the future you're supposed to build. The truth is, most people never reach their goals, not because they're not capable, but because they never stay focused long enough to see them through. They start strong, they talk big, they post about it, they dream about it, but the second it gets tough, the second it gets quiet, the second the results don't show up fast enough, they lose sight of what they were fighting for. They let the noise win. They let comfort take over. But the ones who rise, the ones who change their lives, the ones who dominate, they've learned how to silence everything that doesn't move them forward. They've learned that focus isn't a talent, it's a decision. You don't stumble into success, you lock in on it until it has no choice but to become yours. So ask yourself right now, what's been stealing your focus? What habits, what people, what excuses have you been allowing to drain your energy, to distract you from the life you said you wanted? Because until you face that truth, nothing changes. You can read all the quotes, watch all the videos, dream all you want, but if your mind isn't locked in, your life will stay stuck. This is the moment where you draw a line and say, no more. No more wasting potential. No more letting distractions dictate my destiny. No more starting and stopping. From now on, it's focus or nothing. You have something inside you that the world needs to see, but you can't reveal it halfway in. You've got to give it everything, your mind, your effort, your energy. This is your season to focus like never before, to block out the noise and build something so powerful that when people look back, they'll say, that's where everything changed. This is not the time to play small. This is the time to lock in, because the moment you choose to stay focused, the game changes forever. So sit back, listen closely, and let this message sink into your soul, because after this, distractions won't stand a chance against you. Most people fail not because they don't have talent, not because they don't have vision, not because they don't have potential, but because they get distracted. They start something with fire in their chest and focus in their eyes, but somewhere along the road, the noise gets louder than the mission. They start listening to opinions, scrolling through lives that don't matter, chasing things that don't align with their purpose. And little by little, without even realizing it, their focus starts bleeding out. Every notification, every doubt, every comparison drains them of the energy they were supposed to use for greatness. You can't hit a target you can't see, and you can't reach a destination you keep looking away from. Focus is everything, and distraction is the silent killer of dreams. You got to understand, focus isn't about doing more, it's about doing less, but doing it better. It's not about juggling 100 goals. It's about locking in on one mission and bleeding for it until it's done. The world is built to distract you. It's designed to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. Every second, someone's trying to sell you something. Attention, validation, entertainment, escape. But the truth is, success doesn't live where it's loud. It lives in the quiet, in those moments when everyone else is out there talking, posting, and pretending, and you're locked in building. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't intelligence, it's focus. One person chooses to be consumed by their goal. The other chooses to be consumed by distraction. You can't afford to entertain everything that flashes in front of your eyes. Every time you check your phone when you should be grinding, you're trading your future for a few seconds of dopamine. Every time you listen to people who don't believe in you, you're renting out space in your head to voices that don't deserve to be there. Focus means you start guarding your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. If you knew how much greatness you were losing to small distractions, you'd be ruthless about what you give your time to. The dream you want, the life you're chasing, the version of you that you know you can be, it all depends on your ability to stay locked in when everything around you is pulling you out. You have to get comfortable saying no to comfort, no to distractions, no to the things that pull you away from who you're becoming. People might call you obsessed, distant, even arrogant. Let them, because they don't see what you see. They don't understand that greatness demands isolation. That focus feels lonely, but that loneliness is the price of evolution. You got to be willing to disappear for a season to reappear on a level no one expected. That's how real transformation works. The ones who stay visible all the time are usually the ones who never grow. But the ones who vanish into the grind, the ones who disappear into discipline, they come back unrecognizable. When you start eliminating distractions, something powerful happens, clarity. You start hearing your own thoughts again. You start understanding what really matters and what doesn't. You start noticing how much time you were wasting on people and things that added nothing to your life. And when that awareness hits, it changes everything. You start operating on purpose, not on autopilot. You stop reacting to life and start designing it. That's the beauty of focus. It turns chaos into direction. It makes your effort count. Most people never reach their goals because they keep restarting. Every time they lose focus, they have to rebuild the momentum from scratch. It's like running a marathon, but stopping every mile to check your phone. You'll never reach the finish line like that. You got to keep your eyes forward, your feet moving, and your mind locked on where you're going. The distractions will always be there. They don't go away. You just get stronger at ignoring them. You learn to value your peace more than their noise. You learn to protect your focus the way a soldier protects his mission. Because in this world, if you don't fight for your focus, you'll lose it. Ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Because if you truly want success, you'll stop letting small things steal big moments. You'll stop letting laziness disguise itself as rest and fear disguise itself as logic. You'll stop letting every shiny thing pull you away from your purpose. The people who reach greatness aren't superhuman. They're just super focused. They wake up every day with tunnel vision. They remind themselves of their goals before the world can remind them of their limits. They understand that focus is not something you have, it's something you choose every single day. Every time you choose to stay focused when it's easier to quit, you separate yourself from the average. Every time you choose to grind instead of scroll, to create instead of consume, to grow instead of gossip, you're building an empire within yourself. Focus builds habits, habits build consistency, and consistency builds greatness. But it all starts with focus, the decision to lock in and not look back. So today, make a promise to yourself. You're done letting distractions control you. You're done being reactive to every beep, buzz, and voice that tries to pull you off your path. You're going to become dangerous with focus, so locked in that nothing and no one can shake you. Because when your eyes are fixed on the vision, your mind becomes unstoppable. When your purpose becomes bigger than your comfort, your focus becomes unbreakable. The dream is yours. The time is now. Eliminate the distractions before they eliminate your destiny. Most people talk about staying focused, but few understand what that really means when life starts getting hard. Staying focused isn't about motivation. Motivation fades. It's about discipline, consistency, and the decision to keep your eyes forward when everything around you is falling apart. Because the truth is, it's easy to stay focused when things are going right. It's easy to lock in when you're winning, when people are cheering you on, when life feels smooth. But true focus is tested when the storms come, when the money isn't showing up, when your plans are falling apart, when your face starts to crack under the weight of reality. That's when you find out if your vision is real or if it was just a phase. You've got to understand something. The world is designed to test your focus. Every setback, every delay, every distraction is life's way of asking, how bad do you really want this? Because the moment you set a goal, the moment you declare that you're going to rise, something will try to pull you off track. You'll face resistance, and that resistance is not there to stop you, it's there to prove you. Every great thing you've ever dreamed of sits behind the wall of focus. And only those who refuse to look away long enough break through. You've got to learn to operate even when your emotions don't match your ambition. There will be mornings when your body says no, but your purpose says go. There will be days when everything in you wants to quit, but you have to keep showing up. That's focus, not the excitement of starting, but the endurance of staying. The grind doesn't care about your feelings. The dream doesn't respond to excuses. The universe only moves for the person who keeps moving, no matter how heavy it gets. Staying focused means you train your mind to work even when your heart is tired. It means you remind yourself why you started every single day until it becomes impossible to forget. Distractions will come disguised as comfort, as fun, as just for today. But just for today is how you lose a lifetime. Every time you give in to that voice that says, I'll do it tomorrow, you're teaching yourself to settle. You're teaching yourself that your dreams can wait, but they can't. Every time you lose focus, you lose momentum. And momentum is everything. Once you stop moving forward, getting started again takes twice the energy. That's why you got to stay locked in, even when no one's clapping, even when no one understands your grind, because the results will clap for you later if you don't stop now. Focus isn't only about where your eyes are, it's about where your mind lives. Too many people are physically present but mentally absent, showing up to work but their mind's somewhere else. In the gym but thinking about their problems. In their goals but focused on their fears. You can't build anything like that. To stay focused, you have to bring your entire being into what you're doing. Body, mind, and spirit. Every repetition, every hour, every plan deserves your full attention. You can't give half effort and expect full results. Focus is giving everything you have to the moment you're in, with no divided energy, no divided heart. And the truth is, staying focused will make you feel isolated. You'll outgrow conversations, people, and even environments that used to feel like home. Because once you start chasing something bigger, the small talk and small living start to suffocate you. You'll feel misunderstood, maybe even judged. But that's the cost of focus. That's the price of growth. You've got to be willing to let go of distractions, even when those distractions are people you care about, because not everyone will understand your hunger, and that's okay, they're not supposed to. The vision was given to you, not them. When you stay focused long enough, something changes inside you. Your tolerance for nonsense disappears. You stop entertaining negativity, stop arguing with doubters, stop wasting energy explaining your moves. You become sharper, calmer, more precise. That's what real focus does. It creates peace. Because when you're locked on your purpose, the noise around you loses its power. You stop chasing validation because you know who you are and where you're going. That's the kind of strength most people never reach because they never stay focused long enough to find it. Staying focused is also about forgiveness, forgiving yourself for past mistakes, for wasted time, for getting distracted before. Because if you keep looking back, you'll crash. The rearview mirror is small for a reason. It's not where you're going. You've got to let go of guilt and regret and redirect all that energy into now. Because every second you spend dwelling on what went wrong is a second stolen from what can go right. The best way to make peace with your past is to stay focused on your future. You'll know you're truly focused when you stop needing external motivation. When you stop waiting for someone to push you. When you can wake up tired, uninspired, and still show up with fire in your soul because you know what's at stake. Focus creates discipline, and discipline outlasts everything. Motivation fades, inspiration comes and goes, but discipline is forever. It's what makes you keep going when no one's watching. It's what keeps you hungry when you're already full. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. And the reward for staying focused isn't just success, it's transformation. Because every time you stay committed through the chaos, you're building a version of yourself that's stronger, tougher, wiser. You're creating a mindset that doesn't break when life tests you. You start realizing that focus isn't just about achieving something, it's about becoming someone unstoppable, unshakable, unbothered by the noise. So stay locked in. Don't let the distractions of today steal the greatness of tomorrow. Every second you stay focused, you're building something that lasts longer than applause, longer than comfort. You're building legacy. And legacy is only written by those who refuse to look away. The third key to staying focused is mastering emotional control, learning how to stay grounded when life throws chaos your way. Because focus is fragile. One wrong emotional reaction, one burst of anger, one wave of discouragement can pull your mind off track faster than any external distraction. That's why emotional control isn't just a soft skill, it's a survival skill for the focused mind. You can't stay focused if your emotions run the show. You can't chase purpose if every setback hijacks your peace. So, you've got to learn how to feel everything without letting it consume you. You have to learn to stand still in the storm. Life will test your emotions over and over again. You'll experience betrayal, doubt, rejection, and frustration. And each one of those moments will try to break your rhythm. They'll try to make you question your worth, your ability, your dream. But if you let your emotions control your actions, you'll lose sight of your purpose every time something hurts. The goal is not to be emotionless. The goal is to become emotionally intelligent, to know when to feel deeply, but not react recklessly. Because the world doesn't slow down when you lose focus. It keeps moving. And if you allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions, you'll sabotage everything you've worked for. Think about it. How many times have you been close to a breakthrough, but you let frustration make you stop? How many times have you allowed doubt to whisper louder than your vision? That's what emotional instability does. It turns small challenges into massive mountains. It magnifies temporary pain into permanent defeat. And you can't afford that if you want to win. You have to start treating your emotions like signals, not directions. Let them inform you, but never let them drive you. When you're angry, that's a signal something's off. Fix it, don't explode. When you're tired, that's a signal to recharge, not to quit. When you're hurt, that's a signal to heal, not to give up on your purpose. Emotional control is what separates the professionals from the amateurs. The amateur reacts, the professional responds. The amateur gets offended, discouraged, and derailed. The professional stays centered, no matter the noise. You can always tell who's serious about their vision by how they handle adversity. Because adversity exposes the truth, not about your talent, but about your temperament. You might have all the skills in the world, but if you can't manage your emotions under pressure, you'll fold every time it matters most. Every great person you admire didn't just master their craft, they mastered themselves. They learned how to stay calm when the world was watching, how to keep composure when everything was collapsing. That's what you've got to do. Train your emotions like a muscle. Practice not reacting. Practice breathing through frustration. Practice staying kind when people provoke you. Staying steady when plans fall apart. Staying patient when progress slows down. Because every time you do, you're strengthening your focus. You're teaching your mind that nothing outside of you controls the power inside of you. You've got to remind yourself, emotions are temporary, but consequences are not. The wrong emotional reaction can destroy relationships, opportunities, and momentum you've spent years building. That's why emotional maturity is a superpower. It's not weakness to stay calm, it's strength. It takes no strength to explode. It takes no courage to quit when you're upset. But it takes everything in you to stay disciplined when your emotions are screaming otherwise. That's where true focus is born, in the silence between reaction and response. And let's be honest, it's not easy, because emotions are powerful. When you're passionate, when you're hurt, when you're tired, those feelings feel real. They feel urgent. But that's the trick. Your emotions are real, but they're not always right. They tell you how you feel, not what's true. Your mind has to become the filter that decides what deserves your energy and what doesn't. If you chase every emotion, you'll be exhausted before you even reach your goal. But if you learn to sit with them, understand them, and move wisely, you'll keep your power and your focus. To master emotional control, you have to change your relationship with pain. Most people see pain as a reason to stop, but pain is actually proof you're growing. Every emotional test is a chance to upgrade your mind. When life disappoints you, instead of asking why me, ask what is this teaching me? That shift in thinking changes everything. Because now you're not just reacting, you're evolving. Every heartbreak becomes a lesson in resilience. Every failure becomes a test in patience. Every insult becomes an opportunity to sharpen your peace. And when your peace becomes stronger than your pain, you've mastered one of the greatest weapons a human being can have. And you've got to understand, controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means channeling them. It means taking your anger and turning it into fuel. It means using your frustration to work harder, not to lash out. It means converting your sadness into empathy, your fear into preparation, your insecurity into growth. That's how you transform emotional chaos into clarity. That's how you stay focused when everything inside you wants to break. Some people let emotions destroy their focus, but the strong ones use emotions to deepen it. When they're hurt, they don't run away, they dig deeper. When they're disappointed, they remind themselves why they started. When they're exhausted, they rest, not quit. When you reach that level of control, you become dangerous. Because the person who cannot be emotionally shaken cannot be mentally broken. You become calm under pressure, confident under stress, and unmovable under chaos. You have to protect your emotional energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day, you wake up with a limited amount of focus. If you waste it on arguing, complaining, comparing, or overthinking, you'll have nothing left for your goals. That's why you must stop giving emotional energy to things that don't deserve it. Don't waste your peace on people who don't understand your purpose. Don't waste your focus on problems you can't control. Keep your mind clean, your heart steady, and your energy directed toward progress. In the end, emotional control is self-respect. It's saying, I refuse to let the world decide how I feel. It's choosing not to give anyone or anything the power to pull you out of alignment. Because when you master your emotions, you master your focus. And when you master your focus, you master your life. The storm may rage, but the calm inside you will always lead you through. That's the power of emotional control. It keeps you moving forward when everything else tries to pull you back. Your focus will only ever be as strong as your environment allows it to be. That's why you must learn to guard your mind like it's sacred territory, because it is. Your mind is the foundation of everything you'll ever build. It's where your discipline, your confidence, your vision, and your resilience live. And if you don't protect it, if you let the wrong thoughts, people, and energy sneak in, they'll poison it without you even realizing it. Focus doesn't die overnight. It fades slowly. Every time you let a little negativity enter your space. Every time you let someone's doubt become your truth. Every time you consume junk information, gossip, or comparison, you're weakening the mental fortress that's supposed to protect your dream. You have to understand, the world you live in is designed to steal your attention. Every scroll, every notification, every toxic conversation, every negative headline, it's all noise meant to keep you distracted, reactive, and tired. That's why most people can't stay focused. They're mentally crowded. Their minds are cluttered with things that don't feed their purpose. And when your mind is crowded, clarity becomes impossible. You start doubting your moves, comparing your journey, chasing validation, and losing track of who you are. You cannot focus when your mental space is polluted. You can't hear your inner voice when you've given everyone else a microphone. Guarding your mind means taking full control of what gets access to your mental energy. It means being ruthless about what you watch, read, and listen to. You can't fill your mind with negativity all day and expect to live a positive life. You can't listen to people who gave up on their dreams and expect to chase yours fearlessly. You can't hang around complainers and expect to become a conqueror. Your mind is like soil. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant doubt, fear, and laziness, don't be surprised when your life reflects it. But if you plant belief, focus, and vision, that's exactly what will bloom. You need to start protecting your peace like it's oxygen, because it is. You can't breathe properly when your environment is suffocating you with stress, drama, and negativity. You have to separate yourself from people who drain your energy. You can love them, but you don't owe them access. There are some conversations that kill your momentum. There are some people who look harmless, but they constantly feed you self-doubt. You've got to know when to disconnect, when to log off, when to walk away, when to silence the noise, not because you're arrogant, but because you're focused. There will always be voices around you trying to tell you what you can or cannot do. The weak ones listen, the focused ones filter. You must develop mental filters that catch every lie before it takes root in your head. When your mind is unguarded, you become vulnerable to everything the world throws at you. But when you guard it, when you control the input, you control the output. Your thoughts shape your habits shape your results, and your results shape your life. That's why it all begins in the mind. Everything you see in your life started as a thought first. So imagine how powerful it becomes when you start protecting those thoughts like your future depends on them, because it does. Guarding your mind also means mastering silence, because silence is where clarity lives. In a world that screams for your attention every second, focus thrives in quiet. That's where you reconnect with your purpose, where you realign with your goals, where you remember why you started. You don't need more noise, you need more stillness. You need time every day to sit alone with your thoughts and clean your mental space. Most people are running from silence because they're afraid of what they'll hear the truth. But that's exactly what will set you free. When you sit in silence, your excuses fade and your purpose speaks louder.